English One-on-One. In this video, we'll continue talking about types of dependent clauses, and we begin with the adverb-dependent clause. You will learn how to recognize adverb-dependent clauses and how to punctuate them. And once again, we're going to start with the function of adverbs in the sentence. Usually, adverbs modify a verb or an action in the sentence. For example, he can swim well. Swim well. Well modifies the verb swim. The same with adverb clauses. Adverb clauses will modify an independent clause, an action in the independent clause. For example, he can swim well because he has been taking swimming classes for 5 years. Adverbial subordinators show relationships such as comparison, contrast, cause and effect, time, and they show possibility or condition. So these are some popular adverbial subordinators. When we talk about the location of adverbs in the sentence, they're always located after the verbs in the sentence. After the verb swim, he can swim well. Adverb clauses are located either before the independent clause, for example, because he has been taking swimming classes for 5 years. This is an adverb-dependent clause. He can swim well. It's located before the independent clause, he can swim well. And I'm sure this formula DC, IC looks familiar to you. And it can also be located after the independent clause. He can swim well because he has been taking swimming classes for 5 years. And again, this formula, ICDC, should look familiar to you. And again, the third factor we consider when we are working with dependent clauses is questions. What type of questions can we ask? Usually it's a question when, or why, where, under what condition. Now remember, all those adverb clauses show some kind of relationship or pattern of organization. When did he hurt his arm? He hurt his arm when he was building a birdhouse. Why will he finish the birdhouse? Because he has been busy lately. He will finish the birdhouse by the end of this week. In the second part, we'll talk about adjective-dependent clauses. And again, you will learn how to recognize adjective-dependent clauses and how to punctuate them. The functions of adjectives is to modify nouns. Either it's a subject or a verb. For example, John is an inexperienced real estate agent. What kind of agent? Experienced. Now, with adjective clauses, the function is the same. They will describe either a noun, like John, which is a subject. For example, John, who is an experienced real estate agent, found us a new home in 3 days. Or it can describe an object. In this sentence, the word agent. For example, John is a real estate agent that has been in this business for over 20 years. Remember, adjective clauses always describe the noun. Either it's a subject or an object. The location of adjective clauses. Now, adjectives are always located before the noun they describe, like in this sentence. John is an experienced real estate agent. In the word experienced and real estate, there are two adjectives and they're located before the noun they describe. With adjective clauses, they're always located after the noun they describe. For example, John, who is an experienced real estate agent, found us a new home in 3 days. The adjective clause, who is an experienced real estate agent, is located right after the subject it describes. Or it will be right after the object it describes. Types of questions. For adjectives and adjective clauses, you can ask the same question. either what color, what type, which color, which type. What kind of real estate agent is John? John is an experienced real estate agent. What kind of real estate agent is John? John is a real estate agent. What kind? That has been in this business for over 20 years. Once again, the key factor for adjective clauses to remember is they are always located after the noun they describe. It can be a subject or an object. It doesn't matter. Now let's talk about adjective subordinators. These are three common adjective subordinators: who, which, and that. Which replaces nouns or pronouns that refer to people. For example, I know a girl who speaks Tahitian. Which replaces nouns or pronouns that refer to things. I did not pass my first essay. Which did not have enough supporting details. That is a special subordinator that replaces nouns and or pronouns that refer to both people and things, but that never takes a comma. For example, I know a girl that speaks Tahitian. You can also say, I know a girl who speaks Tahitian. I want to go to an island that has a lagoon, or you can say which has a lagoon. Now let's talk about the difference between who and whom. Who always replaces the subject in the dependent clause. For example, I know a girl who speaks Tahitian. Who is the subject and the subordinator in this clause, and it's attached to the verb speaks. Whom replaces the object in the dependent clause. I have a friend whom I don't trust. The subject is I, the verb is don't trust, and whom replaces the object, my friend, if you convert this dependent clause into an independent clause. For example, I do not trust whom? I do not trust my friend. So the word friend is the object here, and it's replaced by whom. Whose replaces possessive forms. I have a friend whose dad is a pilot. So if this were an independent clause, it would look like this: his dad is a pilot. I have a friend, his dad is a pilot. So when you convert this into the dependent clause, you have I have a friend whose dad, my friend's dad, whose dad is a pilot. Now, when replaces a time. I will never forget the day when I graduated. Every time an adjective dependent clause begins with when, it describes the noun that means time. The day, a year, a week, month, an hour, and so on. Where replaces a place. The building where he works is new. When an adjective clause begins with where, it describes a noun that means a place, a building, school, room, house, square, etc. And now let's talk about punctuation rules. Rule number 1, you never use a comma for restrictive clauses. What does that mean? The restrictive clauses cannot be removed from the sentence because they are essential to the meaning of the sentence. If you remove the clause, you will change the meaning. I want to go to an island. In this sentence, you mean any island in the world, no specific islands. But if you want to make this island more specific, you add some essential information. I want to go to an island that has a lagoon. Now, it's no longer any island in the world. It's an island with a lagoon. In this case, if you remember, I said there is no comma with that. In this case, you do not put a comma between island and that. I want to go to an island that has a lagoon. So you have it, an adjective clause that has a lagoon with no comma. Now, if you say, I don't like people, that means you don't like all people in the world, which is probably not true. So you probably mean a specific group of people, like in this sentence, I do not like people who abuse animals. So you do not like only those people who abuse animals. And here you have it. I don't like people that or who abuse animals. In this case, the preferable subordinator is that, because there's no comma here. You can also use who with no comma. Rule number 2. For non-restrictive clauses, you use a comma. And this information, I consider this junk, and you separate it by 2 commas if it's in the middle, because the noun that you describe is already specific. Usually it's a proper name or specific name. For example, London, which is the capital of the Great Britain, was founded by the Romans. Paul, who is from Virginia, is getting married. I cannot find my cat. Now, providing that you have only one cat and it's my cat, it's already a specific noun. Therefore, you use which is 10 years old. Now, in all these cases, you cannot use that because you need this comma. And remember, that does not require any commas.